Listen carefully. What you are about to hear is not motivation. It is not self-help. And it is definitely not another temporary confidence trick designed to make you feel powerful for 10 minutes before life crushes you again. This is something far more dangerous, because once you truly understand what we are about to uncover, you will never look at disrespect the same way again. You will never enter a room the same way again. And the people who once controlled your emotions with a single sentence will slowly lose their power over you. Most people think strength means reacting louder, defending themselves faster, winning arguments, destroying opponents with clever words. But the ancient Stoics understood something terrifying. The person who controls your emotions controls your life. And for over 2,000 years, humanity has remained trapped inside the same invisible prison. Marcus Aurelius knew it. Epictetus knew it. Seneca knew it, even while facing betrayal, humiliation, manipulation, cruelty, and political warfare. They discovered a psychological discipline so powerful that insults became meaningless noise, not because they were emotionless, but because they understood human nature more deeply than the people attacking them. This video is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming untouchable. 10 lessons, 10 mental weapons, and by the end of this journey, you will understand why some people remain calm in chaos, while others collapse from a single opinion. So stay until the end, because each lesson builds on the next. Miss one, and you miss the foundation entirely. Lesson 1. Disrespect is never really about you. Most people misunderstand insults. When someone mocks you, dismisses you, talks down to you, or tries to embarrass you publicly, your instinct is to believe they are revealing something about your worth. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Disrespect is usually a confession, not an evaluation. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal that every morning he prepared himself to meet arrogant, selfish, dishonest, jealous, and manipulative people. Think about that. The Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, still expected human ugliness daily. Why? Because cruelty is often the language of inner conflict. Poison before they even land. Lesson 2. Expectation is the hidden source of pain. The deepest suffering is not disrespect itself. It is being shocked by it. Most people secretly walk into relationships, hoping, this time they will understand me. This time they will appreciate me. This time they will change. And every disappointment cuts deeper because expectation created emotional dependency. The Stoics practiced something radical. Psychological preparation, not pessimism, preparation. They mentally rehearsed betrayal, criticism, rejection, misunderstanding, and failure before entering difficult situations. Why? Because what is expected cannot emotionally ambush you. When you stop demanding emotional perfection from imperfect people, you become dramatically harder to manipulate. Lesson 3. Silence is psychological power. Most reactions are confessions. Angry reactions confess emotional instability. Defensive reactions confess insecurity. Over-explaining confesses fear of judgment. But silence reveals control. There is a reason. Emotionally immature people become uncomfortable when you remain calm after provocation, because they expected access to your nervous system. And when they fail to trigger you, the power dynamic shifts instantly. The Stoics understood that not every insult deserves participation. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. Not passive silence, controlled silence, the kind that says, you no longer have access to my peace. Lesson 4. Never give people emotional ownership over you. Seneca called anger a temporary form of insanity, and he was right. Think carefully. The moment someone ruins your entire day with a comment, they have gained authority over your emotional state. You replay the moment. You rehearse imaginary arguments. You lose sleep. You relive the insult repeatedly. Meanwhile, they continue living normally. Stoicism teaches emotional sovereignty. You are allowed to feel anger, but you are not required to obey it. Emotion is information, not command. This changes everything. Lesson 5. Build self-worth in private. The reason criticism, hurts so deeply is because it often touches unresolved insecurity. If someone calls you incompetent and it destroys you emotionally, part of you may already fear it could be true. The Stoics believed self-worth should never depend on applause, because anything built on external validation can be destroyed externally. Real confidence is built privately, through discipline, integrity, consistency, promises you keep to yourself when nobody is watching. That is why some people collapse under criticism while others remain steady. One built identity through approval. The other built identity through character. Lesson 6. Create space between stimulus and response. Most people react instantly. That is weakness. The Stoics trained themselves to pause, to observe emotion before obeying it. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a space. And inside that space lives freedom. Someone insults you. Pause. Someone manipulates you. Pause. Someone tries to provoke you publicly. Pause. The pause protects intelligence from emotion, and the person who masters that pause becomes extremely difficult to control. Lesson 7. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. This lesson alone can save years of emotional exhaustion. Not everyone wants clarity. Some people want reaction. Some want superiority. Some want chaos. When someone has already decided who you are, endless explanation becomes emotional begging. The Stoics understood that dignity sometimes means allowing misunderstanding without defending yourself endlessly. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Lesson 8. Withdraw your energy quietly. You do not need dramatic revenge. You do not need emotional speeches. You simply need boundaries. The most powerful response to chronic disrespect is often reduced access, less attention, less emotional investment, less availability, not bitterness, not cruelty, just wisdom. Your energy is valuable, and not everyone deserves unlimited access to it. Lesson 9. Release hatred before it destroys you. This may be the hardest lesson of all, because hatred feels powerful. But hatred chains you psychologically to the person who hurt you. You replay them constantly. You mentally argue with them for years. You carry them everywhere. The Stoics believed resentment was self-inflicted suffering. Forgiveness does not mean trust again. It does not mean reconciliation. It does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means refusing to carry poison inside your own mind forever. You free yourself first. Lesson 10. Purpose makes petty people irrelevant. This is the final lesson, and perhaps the most important. The ultimate defense against disrespect is not emotional armor, it is purpose. People with meaningful missions simply do not have enough psychological space left for constant resentment. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire during war, plague, political corruption, and personal tragedy. Yet he constantly reminded himself, focus only on the work in front of you. Purpose creates gravity, and when your life becomes deeply aligned with something meaningful, criticism starts sounding smaller and smaller. Not because the world changed, because you did. So here is the truth. You will still encounter toxic people. You will still face betrayal. You will still experience envy, manipulation, disrespect, and cruelty. But now you understand something most people never will. Peace is not found by controlling others. It is found by mastering yourself. The Stoics were not unbreakable because life was easy. They became unbreakable because they stopped surrendering ownership of their minds. And now that path stands in front of you too. Build your inner citadel. Protect your peace. Master the pause. Withdraw from chaos. Release hatred. And devote your life to something greater than the opinions of temporary people. Because once you truly become grounded in purpose, discipline, and self-command, disrespect stops feeling like a wound and starts feeling like noise. Stay sovereign.